This video was made in collaboration with the Avatar Wiki. If you'd like to learn more, check out the link in the description. The Life of Naga. Naga is a female polar bear dog that belongs to Avatar Korra as her animal companion and main form of transportation. Despite her intimidating appearance, Korra describes Naga as a sweetheart and regards her as her best friend. Undyingly loyal, she is protective of Korra and her friends, and has learned how to use her strength to help them out of perilous situations. Welcome to the Amagi. In today's video, we're going over the life of Naga. Before we begin, we publish a new video every day, so be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. Early life. When Naga was a pup, she became separated from her pack during a storm. Wandering around by herself in the tundra near the Southern Water Tribe, she was found by a young Korra who had sneaked out of her home. Although distrustful of the child at first, Naga warmed up to her after Korra offered her some fish jerky. Having gobbled up the food, she watched on in mild confusion as Korra started to hop around on all fours around her, desiring to play together. When the young Avatar realized after a while that she too had gotten herself lost in the raging storm, she built herself and Naga a rudimentary igloo with her waterbending. Sheltered from the wind, Naga curled up into a ball for warmth. She was startled, however, when Korra tried to bend a small flame for heat but subsequently lost control of it. As Korra lamented about how being the Avatar was not what she had initially expected, Naga attempted to cheer her up by licking her hand. Huddled together, the two youngsters eventually fell asleep. The next morning, Naga and Korra awoke from their slumber when Tonraq found and cracked open their shelter. While Korra's parents discussed Naga's fate with Katara, the pup happily played with Korra in the snow. Much to their mutual enthusiasm, Korra was allowed to keep her, and Naga returned home with her new family, where she and Korra continued to play together. Inseparable during the following years growing up, Naga became Korra's best friend as well as her main means of transport. 170 AG. In 170 AG, Naga accompanied Korra to Republic City, where the polar bear dog caught some fish from the pond in the city's park after she was denied food from a stand by a broke Korra. As a guard rushed toward Korra, telling her that fishing was not allowed, the Avatar escaped on Naga. She later helped Korra evade arrest by the metal-bending police force, but she and the Avatar were eventually captured and sent to police headquarters. After Korra was cleared of the charges against her, Naga was returned to the Avatar by a police officer whom she licked. While attempting to find Bolin, Naga was capable of sustaining a fast pace while chasing an equalist convoy consisting of a truck and motorcycles. When Korra and Mako had their chi blocked and found themselves surrounded, Naga bit through her bindings, and she and Pabu scared the equalists away, allowing the two to escape. While Korra and Bolin were enjoying dinner at Narlock's Seaweed Noodlery, they were approached by Tano. He and Korra began trash-talking each other, and the pro-bender attempted to provoke the Avatar into a fight. Since the Fire Ferrets would be disqualified from the pro-bending tournament if she were to lay a hand on him outside the arena, the Avatar called Naga instead, who intimidated the Wolf Bat's waterbender with a loud roar. When the Fire Ferrets found out that Amon had threatened the United Republic Council to shut down the pro-bending arena or face severe consequences, the team rode on Naga to City Hall so that they could speak with the Council. Days later, Naga awaited the arrival of Mako, Bolin, and Asami to Air Temple Island, along with Korra and the three airbending children. Pabu arrived on the island as well, and she was greeted by the ferret with a paw to her nose. However, their peaceful greeting was soon interrupted by an excited WIKI who wanted to catch Pabu. With WIKI on his tail, Pabu ran several times underneath Naga. Meanwhile, Milo had perched himself upon her head and was pulling her ears and imploring her to fly like a flying bison. Naga let all of this pass by her, and she did not react to it in the least. When WIKI and Milo had enough of the two animals, they started playing with each other while Naga happily chased Pabu across the temple's courtyard. Later that evening, when Mako, Bolin, Asami, and Korra had formed an official alliance, they all attempted to sit on Naga's back at the same time and use her as a method of transportation to patrol Republic City. However, when Bolin jumped on her back, the foursome proved to be too heavy for her, and Naga bent over, effectively throwing her riders off her back. During the night, Naga slept in Korra's room, but was woken by her master who needed transportation to City Hall. Although concerned, Naga complied to Korra's order and waited outside. While Korra was being held captive by Tarlok, Naga tracked her to the area where she was and found her in the snow after her escape. The animal proceeded to carry an exhausted Korra back to Republic City on her back, where the rest of Team Avatar found them, guiding themselves with her howling. When the Equalists attacked Republic City, Naga carried Team Avatar from Air Temple Island as they went into hiding to await the arrival of the United Forces. As they made their escape, Naga hit the lieutenant as he attempted to attack them, knocking him down a long drop. The polar bear dog continued to carry the team by swimming to the mainland, where they hid within the city's underbelly. When Mako and Korra split up from Asami, General Iroh, and Bolin underneath the city, Korra let Bolin's group take Naga because she would be handy in the mountains. When Bolin, Iroh, and Asami reached the Equalist biplane base, Naga and Pabu were told to wait in the nearby forest. After the group was captured and locked up, Naga ventured on the terrain and used her front paws and raw strength to knock down the jail cell bars to free her allies. At this point, the Equalist biplanes began to take off. Iroh went after the planes while Bolin set off for the runways, destroying them with earthbending. As he was tearing apart the runways, several mecha tanks came and shot rope claws at him. Naga once again came to the rescue, grabbing the ropes and using them to swing the mecha tanks around, destroying them. At that point, another mecha tank battle was also brewing between Asami and her father. Naga carried Bolin to the hangar just in time for the earthbender to save Asami. Naga journeyed with Korra and her friends back to the South Pole, where Katara unsuccessfully tried to restore her ability to bend water, earth, and fire. Korra subsequently rode Naga toward a cliffside, where she was contacted by Avatar Aang's spirit, who restored her bending. Naga was later present when Korra used energy bending to restore Lin Beifong's earth bending and metal bending. 171 AG. After spending 6 more months in Republic City, Naga and Korra returned to the Southern Water Tribe again. At night, Naga awoke as she heard something outside of Korra's hut, rousing the Avatar as well, who was sleeping against the polar bear dog. Naga ran outside where she started howling, much to Korra's annoyance, who tried to silence her. However, the animal had sensed the presence of a dark spirit, which subsequently attacked Korra. When Korra later journeyed across the frozen tundra toward the South Pole, Naga served as her loyal mount. During their journey, the polar bear dog sensed that they were being followed by several dark spirits, and she alerted the humans of the party to their presence by growling in the direction of the entities. As several spirits attacked them the next day, Naga joined in the fight, though with little success. Several days later, Naga and Korra gave chase of Judge Hota. By crashing into his Sato-mobile, Naga caused it to spin out of control, effectively stopping the judge's escape. At Korra's order, she ripped off the door of the car and threateningly growled at the judge in order to have him comply to Korra's requests. Korra continued to threaten the judge, and Naga opened her jaws to allow Korra to place the judge's head in her mouth. Korra continued to threaten the man until she had the information she desired, and rode Naga back to her friends. Naga accompanied Korra back to Republic City, where Korra went to persuade President Raiko to aid the South in the Civil War. During the Peace March, Naga and Korra rode at the front of the group, nearing the Southern Water Tribe Cultural Center. After Korra's attempts to gain aid from Raiko failed, she left Naga in Bolin's care as the Avatar traveled to the Fire Nation in hopes of gaining Iroh's mother's approval. Under Bolin's care, Naga was dyed with black spots to pass as an Arctic panda, one of Nuktuk's loyal friends with the ability to convey understandable thought to her master. When harmonic convergence drew near, Naga accompanied her master back home to the Southern Water Tribe, where she was left at the Southern Water Tribe compound while Korra and her friends went on a mission to close the spirit portals. However, she ran off to track them and found Bumi, who had gotten separated. She accompanied him to the South Pole, where she overpowered Desna and Eska, helping Bumi free the others. Naga was subsequently taken back to the compound by Asami on Ugi, while the others ventured into the spirit world. 2 weeks after harmonic convergence, Naga joined Korra on her quest to locate the new airbenders around the Earth Kingdom. While traveling on the platform of the Future Industries airship, she stuck her tongue out to enjoy the wind and was soon joined by Ugi, who did the same. When the group arrived at Ba Sing Se, Grand Secretariat Gun immediately noticed Naga, Pabu, and Ugi and informed the team of Earth Queen Huting's hatred for animals. Bolin tucked Pabu inside his shirt, but regarded Naga and Ugi as tougher animals to hide. Before Korra's meeting with Huting, Gun instructed the party to hide Naga and Ugi in the backyard to avoid frustrating the monarch. After Team Avatar fled Ba Sing Se and continued their search for airbenders, Naga played fetch with Korra during a break in the journey, chasing a ball that her master airbent a short distance away. Naga dropped the ball in front of Lin, wanting her to toss it as well, but Lin passed after seeing the poor, drool-covered shape it was in. Just before the group left, upon receiving word of an airbender in Zaofu, Naga again begged the chief of police to throw it, which resulted in the chief using her metal cables to pierce the ball, upsetting the polar bear dog. Having arrived in Zaofu, Naga allowed Pabu to rest on her head, while curiously eyeing Lin, who adamantly refused to leave the ship with the others. The animals later watched as the group brought Suyin Beifong aboard the ship to reunite with Lin, and joined them as Suyin led everyone to her estate and introduced them to her family. Sometime later, Naga was sleeping with Korra in her guest room when she woke up upon hearing Minghua slice the window. She got up and growled at the Red Lotus members, though was instantly paralyzed by 3 Shirshu spit darts. After the kidnapping attempt of Korra had been thwarted, Naga joined the team at the scene of the clash with the Red Lotus the next day and sniffed around looking for clues. That night, with the team given a chance to pursue the gang and the traitorous Aiwei, Naga carried Korra out of Zaofu with the team by their side in a jeep. Naga's tracking abilities led the team to Aiwei's jeep, parked outside the outskirts of the Misty Palms oasis. Proud of her discovering, she nudged Korra for a treat, though only after receiving a good pet, as the Avatar had forgotten to bring any treats. She promptly turned around in dismay, hitting Korra in the face with her tail. While Maka and Bolin left to investigate the town, Naga waited beside Aiwei's jeep with the rest of the team until Mako came to get them and led them toward the Misty Palms Inn. Naga and Pabu waited outside the establishment while the team got a small room there across from Aiwei. The polar bear dog rested on her back by the bed in the small room, though she also accidentally hit Bolin in the face with her tail as they were all cramped together. After Minghua and Gazan came to the inn, intent on capturing Korra, Naga took Asami, who was holding a meditating Korra, away from the oasis, though they were soon trapped under 4 slabs of rock by the Earth Queen's forces. Although Korra and Asami were taken captive, Naga managed to remain at large and return to the Misty Palms oasis where she met up with Pabu. Together, the animals awaited the return of their masters at the abandoned jeeps just outside of town. When Naga discovered someone rummaging around in the vehicle, she viciously roared at them, though after recognizing the person to be Lin, she quickly made her way over to the metal bender and excitedly licked her face. As Lin wanted to be left alone, Naga and Pabu were offered some meat to chew on, which they happily accepted. Naga accompanied the chief of police back to the oasis, where she later tackled the unsuspecting Korra upon her return, excitedly licking her master's face. When Mako and Bolin made their way back to the Misty Palms oasis, Naga excitedly ran over to the firebender and promptly tackled him, licking his face. Naga traveled with the rest of the team back to Zaofu and was left under the care of Yin while Team Avatar and her allies tried to save the Air Nation from the Red Lotus. While there, Naga entered in a tug-of-war contest with Pabu, using Mako's scarf, which now belonged to Yin, as the rope. Although she easily won this show of strength game, lifting the fire ferret off the ground in the process, she was sternly admonished by Yin for their behavior, who addressed her as a dog. Upon hearing that the elderly woman was disappointed in them, the 2 animals bowed their heads in shame. After Jinora's anointment ceremony as an airbending master, Naga waited alongside Senna, Tanrak, and Kaya, while Korra's friends said goodbye to her as she was leaving for the Southern Water Tribe. Back home, Naga slept on the floor of Korra's room, though awoke with concern when her master startled awake from a nightmare. When Korra decided 3 weeks later to visit Katara to help her recovery process, Naga attended every physical therapy session the Avatar underwent. Nearly 6 months later, when Korra was growing frustrated over her situation, Naga was used by Katara as a goal for Korra to reach. When the Avatar made it to the animal, the polar bear dog lovingly bent her head down to return the embrace Korra was giving her. When Korra decided to return to Republic City a year and a half later, Naga was left in the care of Tanrak and Senna. As Korra sailed away from Harbor City, Naga watched her go from the docks, howling sadly to the sky. 174 AG. 3 years later, an excited Naga ran off the ship that transported her from the Southern Water Tribe to Republic City as soon as it docked at Air Temple Island. Flopping on her back before Iki and Milo, she enjoyed having her belly rubbed by the 2 children. Naga remained on Air Temple Island while Jinora, Iki, and Milo set on a mission to find Korra. On the day they returned with her, Naga was leisurely napping in the sun while her tail was used as a chew toy for Pabu. Hearing Pepper groan while descending, the polar bear dog peeked her head, and upon being called on by Korra, she excitedly wagged her tail and ran toward her master. Briefly lifting Korra off the ground with her head, Naga lovingly placed a paw on her master's back before licking her face and cuddling some more. Some days later, Naga played around with Korra, happily chasing and trying to capture the rocks Korra was raising and lowering. During Kuvira's attack on Republic City, Naga remained on Air Temple Island. After the battle's conclusion, she slept somewhere on the side of the island during Varric and Julie's wedding. Sometime after Kuvira's attack, Naga helped Korra and Milo track down Nibbles, the lost pet of one of the evacuees of Republic City. Having sniffed a stuffed animal that belonged to Nibbles, she was able to pick up its scent and track down the animal somewhere inside the city. 3 months after Kuvira's attack, Naga transported Korra to Kuvira's prison and waited outside while the Avatar went in. Sometime later, Naga accompanied Team Avatar and King Wu in picking up Kuvira for their mission to Gowling. As Korra brought Kuvira on board the Future Industries airship, Naga briefly growled at the former tyrant as she was brought onto the bridge. Naga later carried Korra and Wu to the Foggy Swamp in search of Toph Beifong. While Korra began searching for Toph's energy, Naga observed Wu with interest as he disembarked to go to the bathroom and averted her gaze when he asked for privacy. After Wu experienced a vision of his late aunt, he and Korra climbed back on Naga and made their way to Toph's abode. Naga sat silently as the duo tried to convince Toph to participate in Gowling's election, ultimately managing to manipulate her into agreeing by recalling Wu's vision. Naga then carried the trio back to Gowling, where they found the citizenry openly supporting Commander Guan. After Toph had registered as a candidate, they proceeded to return to the airfield to meet with the rest of Team Avatar, only to be accosted by Kuvira disguised as an Earth Empire soldier, who revealed that Guan ambushed and brainwashed their friends while they were gone. Subsequently, the group managed to rendezvous with the Metal Clan before they were ambushed by Guan's forces using Mako, Bolin, and Asami as a vanguard. Naga remained aboard the Metal Clan airship while Korra, Kuvira, and the Metal Clan fought against Guan's forces. Ultimately, they were only able to get away with Asami while Wu was captured. Did you enjoy our video? Be sure to check out these other great videos from the Amagi, and make sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.